Hey guys, happy Wednesday. So today I'm going to talk about how to set your, and I just woke up from a nap, so I look all like swollen face. I share that just to say that today Jason and I took a date day in, and we just had our, like normally we have a babysitter on Wednesdays and we work, but today we just stayed in our room all day. We had the heater blasting and we just like worked a little bit, but like it was just nice to be working from the bed and like just chilling, and then we just took a long winter nap. And I share that also to say that it's important to do that sometimes if you're not already doing that, where you're just taking those little moments. But today I wanted to talk about the 3 things that I want to make sure you're thinking about and preparing for as you go into a new year. Because one thing that I used to do, and I really have been working hard to not do this anymore, is I would prepare for the new year in the new year, like right before it would happen. Like I wouldn't start my things, everything would be like, when 2020 comes, like I'll be doing this. And so this year and a couple years back, I've been like starting what I want to be starting for 2020 before the year comes. So I was actually taking a nap, and I've been like, since I've been doing this fast, God's been really coming to me in my dreams. Like I'll be sleeping and dreaming, but he'll be downloading. And I don't completely remember the revelation that I had when I was sleeping, so I'm sure it's going to keep developing. But one of the things that he told me and reminded me, and so I'm like, that's what I'm going to talk about today, was just how much I'm not practicing what I preach when it comes to my vision and my life, and like the whole, what do you want? And so what I mean by that is, I was looking at my vision board yesterday, and I have all these things. Like when I look at so I have this board up here where it has like what I've been focusing on this year. And when I look at what I said I was going to create, I did create some of it, but there's like 4 major things that I didn't even do this year. And when I look at where my like energy and my efforts went, it didn't go towards creating that. And so the 3 things that I want you to make sure that you're checking is, well, okay, so I'm going to back up because it starts with this. First of all, doing your vision. So I'm going to be doing another vision board workshop. I actually have one on the books to do an in-person one on the 2nd, but I'm probably going to have to cancel it. I'm not sure yet. So all I do when I teach my journal or my vision board workshop is I do a journal exercise of just a brain dump of what do you want? Like, what do you want? What are those things that keep coming over you? Like, I want to write a book. I want to start a business. I want to travel more. I want to remodel my kitchen. I want to spend more time with my family. I want to get a new job. I want to like be more organized. I want to be on time more. Like, what are the things that come to you that you just like, man, one day I want, and like you just brain dump those things. And then you kind of reverse engineer. Like for me, like I would love to build like an eco-friendly home that has everything. Like I want like a room in it that has like a space that's like an office, but it's more like every wall has a different color on it, or maybe it's all white, but then it has like hooks to hang different like paintings, and I can make it be like different backdrops for my lives, for my programs, for like calls that I do or whatever. So I have this vision that I'll have a room. I could do that in my house now. Like I've thought of turning my little retreat in my room. My point of sharing that is like, I know that having my eco-friendly house that I build will probably not happen in the next year. So I'm like, that's not the first thing that's going on my vision board. I'm putting things that are going to get me closer to the income to get that. And so by doing this brain dump, it kind of allows you to organize your wants, because I really truly believe that God downloads all these desires in our heart to stretch us into the person who he wants us to be. And it's the journey of becoming that person that is where the fulfillment comes, but it's the wants that keep you going. And so it's like this fleshly spiritual combination where your flesh is being motivated by all these things and your soul is being fulfilled as you reach them along the way. Not when you attain the thing, but like who you get to become to make more money and to get a different job and to do all the things. So number 1 is what do you want? Like, do this journal exercise. You don't have to wait for me to teach another vision board workshop. That's simply what I teach in a nutshell, is journal what you want and then reverse engineer it, like an order of what are you going to focus on in the next 6 months, in the next year, in the next 3 years, in the next 5 years. And so in the next 6 months to a year, you'll start putting your post-its, and you'll start putting, like, I'm going to, like, right now, one of the things that I was supposed to do in 2019 was write a book. And I've been working on it in my head. Like, I have a lot of chapters written, but I don't have it put together. I haven't researched, like, who's going to publish it, where it's going to go, like, how I'm going to publish it. And so I haven't really been working on my book. I've just been thinking about it and here and there dabbling. So now what I'm doing, because I realize this, is I realize that the book is probably something that I've been avoiding because I didn't take those steps, is what I'm doing is every day when I read a chapter of the book I'm reading, then I'm also in, like, the mindset to write a chapter of my own book. So I'm writing notes, even if it's not a chapter. I'm reading this book right now called I Had It All Along. And one of the things he talks about, this is what gave me the idea, he talks about how when he wrote all 8 of his books, they were just like pen to paper, like mind to pen. Like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to sit down and write a book. It was like he came with an idea and he just started writing on it and it became a book. And I'm like, that gave me so much freedom, because that's how I operate. Like, when I'm doing these lives, they come from, like, oh my God, this is something that I needed to hear this week, or this is a revelation that I had, or this is something I learned from a training I went to. I want to share this. And so when I think of why I've ever wanted to write my book, although part of my book has some encompassing parts of, like, my journaling and stuff, most of it is just simply my thoughts. And I thought this pressure point of, like, a book is so formal and so structured, and I don't know, like how to do that, to now having the freedom to just write my thoughts in a book and on paper and see what comes out. So my point of sharing that with you is when you see your wants, then you get to break it down, and you get to ask yourself, like, who do I get to be? What do I get to do in order to make this come true? And you've got to reverse engineer the steps to getting there. And so the 3 things that I want you to check, like, to filter your wants through. So you're going to journal, you're going to create your post-it to-do list of things that you want. And then I want you to, this year, what I want you to do starting now, but going into 2020, is I want you to filter your where you spend your time, your energy, and your money through, is this in alignment with what's on my board? Like, that's the piece that I was saying when I started this live, that I realized in my sleep that God was like, you're not practicing what you preach when it comes to your vision board on that part. I do everything else, but I'm not, like, even though I'm looking at my vision board every day, I'm writing down things that I want, I'm not filtering everything I do through that. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples of how I started filtering already, because even though God, like, reminded me of that in my sleep to share this, it was like, it's something he's been revealing to me for a while. So one thing, I do a lot of speaking. I love speaking. And if someone comes to me with a speaking opportunity, I say yes. One piece I'm missing in that is I don't ask who is the audience that I'm speaking to. And so this year in 2020, because I know the specific audience of who I want to work with, I get to filter all the speaking gigs that I do through who is the audience. And you know what it actually did? It was so liberating and so freeing, because there's power in not being for everybody. There's power in not feeling like you have to say yes to everything. And so when you start to filter your life, your time, your energy, your money through the lens of what do I want? What am I actually trying to create this year? Then you actually free yourself up to be mindful of where your time is going. And, like, another example was, I'm texting with a friend that I really want to support her business. She's a photographer. I would love to work with her. I love her work. She's amazing. And I saw her put out, like, a special for the holidays for mini shoots. And I was like, ooh, perfect opportunity. Like, my time is less right now. Like, I'm not as busy. I'd love to do it. And then today I started, like, feeling like, you just are doing a shoot, but you have no direction. Like, I'm getting ready to redo my website, and I know part of the redo is working with the designer to go over like on this part of the page, because I have thousands of pictures. For 2 years straight, I took pictures every single month. And this is an example of where I wasn't filtering everything I did through the lens of, is this in alignment with what I want? Because I was just doing pictures to do pictures. But I wasn't asking, like, I want to do a website. I'm getting my website redone in 2020. So I always will go to do a website or to do content for like marketing, and I'll be like, I don't have any pictures because none of my pictures have enough white space, or the angle, they're going like this and they're not, I need it to be like this, or whatever, like they're not intentional pictures. And so it clicked when like today when I was thinking about it, like, shoot, I have the shoot plan tomorrow, but I'm not prepared because I haven't gone through my branding session with the web designer to really figure out what color scheme should I be wearing, what part of the photo should I be framed in, how much white space should I have. And these are things that people think about, and these are things that I wasn't thinking about. And this is why I wanted to share, because it just shows the level of intentionality. Like we often compare ourselves to other people's websites and other people's social media and other people's success, but they're doing this. They're filtering their decisions, their time, their money, their energy through the lens of, is this in alignment with what I want? And those of us who are not filtering are the ones who are going like this, feeling crazy and overwhelmed, and like wondering why we're not getting results. I'm wondering, why did I work all year and yet I didn't hit the goals that I wanted to hit? Well, because a lot of my decisions were not in alignment with the things that are actually on my vision board. And so my call to action for you today is, if you have a vision board, are you operating the way I was, where you're not really doing alignment with it? And if you don't have a vision board, then go do one and start creating your decisions of where you spend your time, your energy, and your money with that board. And the last thing that I want to say to this, because this is something that I've woken up to over the last year, and I've been working this whole past year, and I'm really loving where I'm settling into with this, but my mentor, so I love my mentor. When you're looking for a mentor, which I believe everybody should have, when you're looking for a mentor, you should be hiring somebody who has a life that you want, and not just somebody who like doesn't. Like, if they're not like, there's mentors out there who grind and don't have a family. They don't have family as like a value of theirs. Or there's people out there who don't, like, generosity and giving is not a part of their, like, they build wealth, but they don't give back, and they're not giving. And so, like, I work with my mentor because she's generous. She coaches us on how to give, on how to be stewards of our community. I work with her because she's a wife and a mother, and she built, so this is the piece that I was going to tell you that she taught, and I heard her say this about 1.5 years ago, and since then I've been like, oh my God. But she said, most people are building most people are building their business around their family. No, they're building their family around their business. Yes. So most people are building their family around their business. But what she teaches and what she does is she builds her business around her family. I was definitely one of those people who was like, mommy's got to work. Mommy can't. I got to work. Shh, mommy's on the phone. And I was like, but I'm working for the family, but we're going to go to Disney World, but we're going to have a better life, but we're going to get more money to have more time. And it was like I was justifying my hustle and my grind towards my family because I was working. So I felt like, well, I'm not like going out partying. I'm not out with my friends all the time. Like, anytime I'm gone from my family, I'm working. But what I realized was that's not what life is all about. And this is part of what downloaded to me when I was sleeping, was just the power of and the beauty of, like, if you're not living your life, and that was kind of where it all came from. It was like I was just soaking in the fact that me and my husband just took a nap. I was just soaking in the fact that we've built this life where we have a babysitter who she helps us on certain days, and we get to choose what we do with our time on those days. And so I was just like soaking in the gratitude of having this life that I'm doing what I want. I'm not enslaved to I can't because of, or like I have many things I can't do because of money. For example, like there's many things that I want to do that like money is the only thing holding me back. But I also am not in a capped mindset. Like, I know I'm going to do them. But most people are in a capped mindset where they don't even realize that you can create whatever life you truly desire. And this is what like part of what I really want to stand for in 2020, that I want people to learn when they're hearing from me, is that you get to create the life you want. You were sent here to do the work that God sent you to do. And part of that, the luxury in that, is also living the life that you want. It's also creating a life that you're proud of living. And so if you feel like you're trapped in your life right now, if you feel like you don't have enough time and money to do the things that you want, then you get to start shifting that. Like, you're the only one responsible for that. So there's something disconnected in your thinking, in the way that you're spending your time, your energy, and your money, that's separating you from the life that you want and the life that you have right now. And so that's what I realized about a year and a half ago was, why am I busting my ass and grinding and I'm missing opportunities with my family? And so when she said that you build your business around your family, that's exactly what I started to do. I started to do, like, right now I'm getting the notifications that my downtime is about to start. So from 4 until bedtime, I do not work. And I used to work all the time. Now, obviously, everyone has different schedules, so don't compare your life to mine. But this is the life that I set up for myself, because I am an entrepreneur and I am a stay-at-home mom. But I was the mom that would go pick my kids up from school. Then I would be like, okay, good, they're fed. Let me get them their food. And then I'd go back to work. And then they'd ask me homework questions or whatever. Boom, help them. Then I'd go back to work. And then I put them to bed, and then I'd go back to work. And I was just working in all the stolen moments. And so what I realized was, another friend of mine is in my community with my mentor, she spoke on one of my calls for my community, and she said that multitasking is the thing that helps women, especially mothers, survive. Like, if we didn't know how to multitask, we're history. She said it's also the thing that kills us. Because when we multitask, we never fully give ourselves to be present to any one thing, and we're actually not doing anybody service. And so when I heard that, matched with my mentor saying that, I started setting boundaries. And so from 4 to bedtime, I don't work. Like, my phone goes into downtime and I'm fully immersed with my kids. Now, am I perfect with that? No. Have I fallen short of that? Yes. Am I working on getting even better with that? Absolutely. But it starts with the standard. And that's another thing I caught myself. If you're like an all or nothing person like me, I'm the type of girl that's like, well, if I can be 100% perfect, then I'll start next year. I'll start next week. And then I allow myself to fall back. But now I'm like, no, when I catch myself falling short, I recommit and I just get it together. And so I'm wrapping this up here, but what I wanted to point out on that note was, so I have the downtime. I have certain days, like Thursday, I don't work. And you have to set boundaries. Like I was just getting ready to, in the leadership training that I'm in, we're looking for buddies and accountability calls. And they proposed Thursday. And I said, sorry, guys, I don't work on Thursdays. And I've got to keep that day pure, because Thursdays are the day that it's mommy and me, play dates, we do gymnastics, we have all the stuff. Because the other days of the week, during those school hours, I'm working. I have a babysitter, or I'm at homeschool with my oldest daughter. And so my point of all of this is what my call to action to you guys today is, please stop and give yourself the gift of asking, what do you want? If this was a vision board workshop, I would say go put on some music. I love meditation music, because any other type of music brings memories to my mind. It takes me to a certain era, a certain moment, a certain place. And so I love meditation because it clears my mind and it allows me to just be present in that moment. And I ask myself, what do I want? If money, time, and failure were not an option, and I could just be successful at whatever my heart desired, and I had all the time and money to do it, what would I be doing? Go give yourself that gift of answering those questions in a journal exercise, and then take those things and start creating, what are you going to focus on for 2020? And remember, this was another thing I suffered with for years. I felt like I had to do everything that came to me. You don't. I learned this from my mentor. She always says, she goes, there's things that come on to me that I know I want to do and create that I probably won't even touch for 5 years from now. They get put on her 5-year plan. And I got to do that for myself, and I'm inviting you to do that, because what's meant for you is meant for you. You don't have to rush things. So don't get caught in like, oh, if I don't do it now, then someone else is going to do it. It's okay. No one can be you. And there's room for everyone to do whatever that God's calling them to do. And if it's not through God calling them, I just believe it doesn't go and flourish the way it's going to like be meant to anyways. So that's my invitation to you, is to do that exercise and then filter. This is the key. This is the secret sauce. This is the part that's going to get you the results, is filter everything you do between now and the end of 2020 through the lens of where you spend your time, your energy, and your money. Is it in alignment with what those things are? Because if it's not, that's where you go into the state of overwhelm, anxiety, depression, because you have so much lack and so much fatigue and stress, and you're tired and you're overworked, but you're not creating the results in alignment with what your heart truly, truly desires. So I invite you to go do this exercise. Don't wait until 2020. Do it right now. Get yourself ready and filter everything you do, the people you hang around with, the places you spend your money. I'm going to end it on this. Do not let your time and your energy and your money squirrel you. Meaning, like, I even did a whole project this last year that had nothing to do with my 2019 plan, but it was a squirrel. It was a moment of taking me out of focus because I was self-sabotaging the direction I was heading. I was fearful of where I was going, and so I found this new project to start, and I got distracted. Don't let yourself get distracted. Challenge yourself this year to stay focused and filter every single thing through those 3 questions. Is this in alignment with my time? Is where I'm spending my time, my energy, and money in alignment with what I truly, truly want? All right, guys, have a good one. I will talk to you soon. Please tag somebody or share this on your page if you feel like this will serve somebody who gets to create the life that they really want in 2020. Don't share it. Don't keep it just to yourself. That's one thing that will also serve you, is being generous, is paying things forward, is up leveling the people circle in the dark so that they're perishing while you're leveling up, and then you're going to want new friends. Like, bring your friends with you. So I love you. Have a good one, and I will talk to you later.